Good evening. Good evening. I've been doing a lot of praying. I've been asking God to give me the right words that I can convey my message across without insulting or disrespecting anyone, because I like to treat people the way I want to be treated. So with that said, are you guys familiar with Aiden Leo's case? He was the 6-year-old who was murdered on May 21st, 2021, 4 months after my daughter was murdered. And the sequence of events about his case, the way his murder was handled, was completely the opposite of how my daughter's murder was handled. Within 2 hours from the shooting of Aiden Leo's, the California Highway Patrolman had a press conference. And immediately within 2 hours, within 6 days, May 27th, District Attorney from Todd Spitzer had another press release on May 27th, and he partnered with the CHP, with other agencies as well, and he made a promise on air. He goes, we may not get you today, we may not get you tomorrow, we may not get you next week, but he came out guns blazing, and he said he was going to bring justice, and he did. It took 15 days from the date that Aiden was murdered. Same events as my daughter. The only difference is that he's 6 years old, my daughter's 29. His happened in the daytime as he was going to school. My daughter was going back home just to enjoy her tacos and a quiet evening with her husband to watch Halo. My question is, why? Why? When we met with the police department, they actually asked us not to speak to the media. I had Channel 4 at the doorsteps of my house asking for comments, and all I can think about is what the police department asked me not to do, what the detectives asked us not to do. Do not speak to the media, because you guys may compromise our investigation. And obviously, that's the least I want to do. That's the least her husband wanted to do. And we respected that and we obeyed. When I saw the news about Aiden Leo's, I could go back to that day. I was sitting in my living room and I could see all the attention that was being brought to him. Great. You know, the community rattled behind it. Other businesses came together. Other cities rallied together as well. And they collectively all collected more than it's not even about the money. It's not even about the money for me. But they collected over 300,000, even 500,000 towards the reward of the murder of this little guy here. Nothing happened up to my daughter. Not one. No one made anything about it. No comments. As a matter of fact, there's a news that came to the police department in West Covina and asked for a statement, and they chose not to say anything. Why? And all I want is accountability. In my book, I feel that was just gross negligence, that the city of West Covina, the police department, did nothing. We had sheriffs offer assistance. We had marshals offer assistance to help with the investigation. They were both declined. Why? Now it's going up to 2 years. And then to add insult to my wounds, not only salt, not only alcohol, but probably acid, where her billboards were taken down. How is the community supposed to know that her case is still unsolved when her reward it's gone down? Nobody knows about it. And then the billboard that's right across from my house, the West Covina, right across the Rim dealership, we were told that the main purpose and objective of that billboard is to bring revenue to the West Covina. That is so disappointing. That's the purpose of those billboards, just the way the purpose of the cameras, they were not built to catch criminals. So we got to change. We got to change the way we're operating here, because this speaks volumes the way they did it. And because he acted, they trusted the media and social media. This is the results. Thank you.
Ernesto Garcia, followed by Elsie Messman, followed by Wen Zong.
Good evening to you, council members, and all who serve our great city. My name is Ernesto Garcia, and I've lived in West Covina since shortly after my wife and I were married in 2002. We've managed to buy a home here, raise a family here, and for the most part, live a peaceful and happy life in this community. My daughter Bella is here with me tonight. She's the president of the student body at West Covina High School. She did not know I was going to bring her up, and I hate to embarrass her by doing so, but I do it in order to ask you all a few very important questions. There is a man in our town named William Elliott who, from all indications, has what I consider to be an inordinate amount of influence on this council and city. He has stood in front of this council and other iterations of it to plainly state that West Covina should recruit more white people to it because their numbers are, quote, waning. He's referred to all the bullet points from the conspiracy that is the Great Replacement theory and spoken against the adulterated version of critical race theory. This man is on the record referring to young Latino DACA recipients as cockroaches. And he has done this in a city where 52% of the population is of Latino descent, a population which includes my daughters. Bella already has political aspirations beyond high school, so I'm here to ask you, with my daughter in mind, and maybe your daughter or son too, would you advise her to associate herself with a man like William Elliott if it advanced her political career? Would you tell her it was a good idea to seek out Mr. Elliott's advice on political matters? If she continues to be especially good at running for positions in government, would you think it honorable of her to govern with the ideals and conspiracies that Mr. Elliott has espoused? As you may have guessed already, I'm here today because I believe that one of the people running for a council seat has made the error of using Mr. Elliott's name and efforts to get herself elected, and I believe this mistake should be considered a disqualifier for voters. I want to be clear that I'm not here because I do not agree with her on many other issues. I've read her literature and I find her to be an otherwise acceptable candidate on paper, and perhaps one who has simply made a very unfortunate error in judgment. Nonetheless, she has already reiterated that she believes her decisions to join forces with this man was a good one. Mr. Wu, on the other hand, I asked you directly via Facebook Messenger just a couple of days ago if you were aware of Mr. Elliott's involvement in anyone's campaigns and if you were aware of his politics. Your clear answer to that question was, quote, no, he is a loner. Considering you have been present on many of the occasions where Mr. Elliott has come up here to regurgitate vitriol, and you are one of the 3 council members to publicly endorse the candidate who has aligned herself with Mr. Elliott, I find it very hard to believe, sir. But your answer does tell me 2 things. Number 1, you are willing to be dishonest to a fellow resident. And number 2, you are fully aware of why I was asking the question, and you were trying to distance yourself from someone you know is politically problematic. And finally, I must ask you, Mr. Wu, Ms. Lopez Viado, and Mayor Castellanos, why is Mr. Elliott's involvement in that campaign not a red line for you? What are you sacrificing in lending your own support to a candidate who has made that kind of mistake? And why are you associating yourselves with a campaign that would have this man as part of it? Or has something happened between the time you were my daughter's age and now that has made this type of association, even by extension, something that allows you to still think you are fully and honestly representing all of the citizens of our great city? Thank you.
Elsie Messman, followed by Wen Zong, followed by R. Robinson.
Good evening, council, staff, and everyone here today and at home. My name is Elsie Messman, a resident of West Covina. I received a flyer stating that the city recruited 3,539 new businesses in West Covina in 2022. I have a question with that number and have turned in a public document request. Number 2, employee recognition dinner at the Sportsplex, and the cost for just a few or the items are have added up to $43,114. Grants funds were taken from Suburban Water, Athens, and TransTech, to name a few of the companies. But remember, we paid them for their services. No consideration was placed on the expenses, as since we are a number 14 at-risk cities out of 482 in California, should tell you something. We paid the following. Trophies we paid $315 for. Rental, $9,412. Catering, listen to this, $26,589. And for flowers, $2,999. 1 penny short of $3,000. Now, how could they come up so close to the limit unless they were told the limit was $3,000 and they come in with that? I think I would check that invoice. Now, how could you come up so close? I remember Chris Freeland had a recognition day for the employees, and he got In-N-Out Burger and drinks for the staff. He realized that they had a job, pension, and medical, so he used common sense. Now, why is this not put on the agenda so the people that did get a trophy or a reward, that they can come up here like everybody else does that gets an award? Nothing is said, nobody knows who it was, nothing. I said it's being very secretive. I have an article from the paper showing Councilman Wu at his office with the City of Torrance officers discussing the health department. The City of Torrance is number 6 on the risk cities in California. I have not heard of any other city going for this health department except West Covina is the only city that needs their own health department. I hear rumors that if this is approved, it will carry on until we go bankrupt. Number 4, I stated at one meeting that we paid TransTech $4 million for the years from January to September, and the city manager did not explain why, but Councilman Wu did state that we got a percentage back. How much did we get back? $3 million? Who knows? I don't think so, but it doesn't pass a smell test. And I think as far as the unions for the police and fire department, whoever they endorse, I think they should be neutral because they're supposed to protect all the people of West Covina, not just somebody that's running for council. Okay, thank you very much.
About 3 weeks ago, I started a Facebook group called Tony Wu Not at City Hall. And it said this group is to give the public access to information some are trying to hide related specifically to West Covina Council District Number 5 and others as necessary. After it had been up and running for a short period of time, William Elliott, the self-proclaimed enforcer for Mayor Pro Tem Diaz and campaigner for Tony Wu, and for candidate Yara Wolf, wrote the following. This page is just an extension of the hater forum. Some same faces, same arguments, same rhetoric, same vitriol. Even Shoemaker's dead wife. They must have pretty good internet service in Hades. In Hades. So I wrote a note to Yara Wolf asking, did she think that was appropriate to make those comments? This was her answer. Mr. Shoemaker, as much as I'm sure you'd like for me to entertain, respond to your cowardly and unfounded cyberbullying and attacks, I'm going to have to disappoint. You see, I'm currently preoccupied dealing with another bully, one less than half your size and at least 10 times younger. Surprisingly, though, I'm not after punishment or consequences. The district has a good system in place for that. I'm trying to find support and programs for him so he can change his course. At his age, it's doable. At yours, well, I'm afraid you're a lost cause. You see, I believe that when someone is loved, cared for, has their basic needs met, is disciplined with compassion, and raised with religious values of any kind, they'll generally grow up to be good citizens of the world. They'll go out and put out the same things they received: love, compassion, empathy, and respect. If evident that in your heart, there's not much of that. So you keep spreading your unfounded hatred and evil thoughts if that's what you feel your calling is. I chose not to receive any of that. My priorities are first God, then my family, and then everything else follows. Unlike myself, a grown woman of faith, conviction, values, and self-respect, an unshakable confidence. My kids are barely working on strengthening, building their own character traits, and I have to help and guide them in that path. They, along with my husband, are my miracles, my love, and my life. Sorry, not sorry, if this takes away the opportunity for you to lasso me in and have me play the clown in your circus. I'm sure that's not entirely disappointing, though. You seem to have a good team of friends who can play that part. So again, have fun, claim your prize, wallow in whatever kick you and your friends are getting out of this. I have a blessed and fulfilling life to live, one in which you and your libelous attacks are those of your misogynist bully friends are completely, entirely, and unequivocally inconsequential. Sorry about that. Also, rest assured that this blessing and fulfilling life of mine will go on, win or lose. Too bad the same can't be said of you and your friends. Not sure the same can be said of you at all. It's clear that online records that the only thing that changes in your hate campaign is the target. This person claims to have faith. What religion says you go out and blast somebody who is dead? My wife died on June 24th, 2022 at 11:40. And he also calls her a dead white racist somewhere else. And then this person who claims she wants to be a leader in our city, instead of saying, I don't think somebody should say something like that, blasts me because I have the temerity to ask her questions like, are you for the health department? You say you want to beautify the parks, but one place you say they're beautiful, what programs do you want to do? That's bullying? If by some unbelievable chance she sits up here, wait till these two guys get hold of her. But that's saying faith? Is that what a person of faith does? Support somebody to attack a dead woman? And you two, Mayor Pro Tem Diaz and Tony Wu, support this person. You, matter of fact, have said you agree with your husband. Not just his right to be an idiot, but you agree with them. So, what about you? Your campaigner. Is that what you believe? Is that what you believe? That's a very simple question. All of you, especially you two, are sick human beings to attack a dead woman. It's that simple. And you sit there and just smile and with a smug look on your face. 2024 is coming up. Thank you.